Hey guys, this video is for the bench press. So we're going to learn a few key tips on how to do it, and also I'll show you what we're going to be doing, how to set up for the bench press. First off, your bar height is important, so we'll talk about that when I'm laying down so you can see how high you need it. Secondly, the rest of our body is doing work during a bench press as well. It's not just the arm for the push. So we're going to start with learning what to do with our feet and our glutes and our core as we set up for the bench press. So, we'll take a side view from where the camera is right now, but the first part is your feet and where to place them, and you want them flat on a surface, and that's going to help you dig your feet into the floor as much as you can. You don't want your feet to be able to move, and you don't want to move your feet during a bench press. So if they're able to be flat on the floor, go with that. Some benches have a leg area that you can put your feet up onto. That gives you kind of a rocking motion in your feet. If your feet can't hit the floor, then that's kind of okay, but if your bench is low enough, you should want to try to have your feet flat on the floor, okay? So as we lay back, we have a few things to do before we even pick the bar up off of the rack. So one, make sure our feet are set, and two, we have from here on up to get engaged and ready for the lift, okay? Especially if you're working on something heavy, you want to make sure that this, and this are all set before you're working up in the shoulders, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to engage the quads and the glutes a little bit, and that's going to set your pelvis in the right shape, in the right alignment, I should say. What that's going to do is start building tension from your hip on up, and we're going to then use that tension and engage the core and make sure that's not moving. Okay? Now, when you engage the core, you're automatically building this internal pressure inside of your abdominal area, and that's going to lead to more strength in your pushes and pulls. So we want to make sure that not only are we having as much strength as possible, but our spine is protected for when we do the lift. So start from the floor, engage all the way up, and we're ready to pick the bar up off the rack. Now, if we can go to the back view, I'll show you what we can do for the bar height and how to set it up. So typically, you should want to have a lift off the bar where you have a substantial clearance for the rack, okay? And that's not for the lift off in particular, it's for when you put the bar back onto the rack when you're done, that you have enough clearance that you're not gonna clip over here, okay? So make sure that we have a few inches or so above the rack when we put the bar back down, okay? Also, what that first couple inches are gonna do is kind of build tension for when we do the rest of our lift, so it kind of sets the movement pattern for you. As far as your width of your arms, it varies person to person. You'd want to have it very similar to your push-up, okay? On the floor, your push-ups, typically your hands are a little outside of the shoulder width, and we're going to do the same exact thing here with the bar. We don't really necessarily want to go really wide because that promotes our elbows going way out to the side like this. So just like our push-up video, we want to have our elbows guided near our body and up. So I will do the exact same thing for my bench press. As we go down, guide my elbows near my body. They don't have to be touching, but near my body, so I can engage the back, my lats and core are engaged, and I can push solid through the motion, okay? So this is something to practice on your own before you start lifting heavy. If our workouts include some bench press, make sure that we have the technique down first before we start loading up the weight. And again, you could also check out the floor press video as an alternative to bench press.